Daniel speaks of Satan co-opting those who act wickedly against the covenant. Who are those people? What does that mean? The covenant is referring to the covenant of Moses, but might also include by extension God's covenant with Abraham. Yet, says Daniel, those who know their God will stand firm and they will prevail. What this passage is speaking about is people who claim to worship the God of Israel, but yet they act against the covenant, the law of Moses. See, this is in contrast to those who truly know God, study and obey God's covenant, and so they have the knowledge, the understanding, and the devotion that they can stand firm in the truth. So in the time of Antiochus Epiphanes, this was speaking mostly about wicked priests who ignored the God-ordained rituals, and instead they used the temple as a treasure chest for their personal benefit. Even the high priests in this era were illegitimate because they were not descended from the God-ordained line that comes from Aaron. However, as concerns the end times, what is being spoken of here is religious Jews who claim knowledge of the Torah, yet nonetheless act wickedly by violating God's Torah because they place their own traditions and laws of the rabbis above the law of Moses. But this also includes Gentiles, Christians, who have been taught by church authorities that the covenants of God have no place in their lives. And thus they refuse to learn about them or to obey them. So these Christians, this group of Christians, indeed acts wickedly against the covenant, all the time thinking they're supposed to. And also believing that ignoring, even slandering God's laws and commandments, well, that's the righteous thing for Christians to do. As is condemning other believers who do try to uphold those commandments. Both groups, religious Jews and Gentile Christians, who are said to act wickedly against the covenant, are therefore easy marks for the dragon. They're easy for him to co-opt. Why? Because they lack wisdom. They lack divine truth. And instead rely on weak man-made doctrines and traditions, perhaps accompanied with kind of a patchwork of Bible passages that's used to validate their position against the covenant. However, says Daniel, other God worshippers, as it says, who truly know God, those who do not act wickedly against the covenant, will be able to stand firm and continue to be obedient to Yahweh. So I want to be clear. This is important. This is not a contrast that we're reading about between pagans and God worshipers. This is a separation of those who claim to worship God but do not obey him versus those who claim to know God but do obey him, and their obedience is based on God's covenant.